Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, let us continue our discussion on engineering mechanics. We will move on to the next chapter on stability. See, in the force method, we have really investigated to keep the body in equilibrium, what are the supporting reactions that you require. Then we investigated positions of equilibrium, and in this chapter, we are going to discuss what contributes to its stability. How do you define stability and how do you verify for stability of a given system? And you know, springs are indispensable. You have many appliances that use springs for their regular functionality. Even though we say that we will confine our attention to rigid body mechanics, because springs are so important, we would like to analyze in some manner even in this course. And one of the way that you can recognize spring is it stores energy when it is pulled, and we know that the force is related to the displacement as F equal to Kx, and whatever the force that you apply on the spring, the work done gets stored in the form of elastic potential energy. That is nothing but the triangle that you have, and the value is 1/2 of Kx square. In reality, even though you call and you have idealized the bodies as rigid, when you go to the next level of course where you relax this and say that they are deformable, you recognize their behavior similar to a spring. Maybe it has a very high stiffness than a normal spring that you come across. So, whatever you analyze for the spring can be easily extrapolated to deformable solids, and I said that you would first start in the domain of small deformations, then we will graduate to large deformation. And let us look at the nuances. When I say potential energy, I have one sign. When I have work done, I have another sign. We have to understand these sign convention very clearly for us to apply the methodology. And I take a spring loaded member, I give a virtual displacement delta x, and whatever the virtual work that is done is also stored as a virtual change in elastic potential energy. So, we need to calculate what is the elastic potential energy. I have displaced it by a virtual displacement delta x. And we write the expression for the virtual change in elastic potential energy as delta V E equal to F into delta x. And we have seen for a spring, force is proportional to the displacement. Now, how do I express this force? Can I say this force is K into x plus delta x? Can I afford to say it like this? We have to be very careful. See, we are dealing with virtual displacements. In virtual displacements, we give a virtual displacement, but do not consider the force that is necessary to give a virtual displacement. So, I cannot have the magnitude of force as K into x plus delta x I will have to have the force only as kx. Very subtle point. So, I would write the elastic potential energy virtual change of it as kx into delta x. Now, let us look at what is the work done on the spring. I have given a displacement delta x, and I look at what is the restoring force. This is the restoring force, in which way the force and the displacements are directed. The displacement is opposite to the direction of the force. When the force and displacement are opposite to each other, what is the sign of the work done? It has to be negative. So, you have to understand the subtle difference. So, when I say the elastic potential energy is kx delta x, the virtual work done delta W equal to minus kx delta x. This is what is written down this point. So, work done on the body is the negative of the potential energy change of the spring. We have looked at it for a spring. We will also investigate what happens to the body force due to gravitation. When we developed the method of virtual work of gravitational force was treated like any other active force. We have not treated it like an energy. If you treat it like an energy, it is easier for you to visualize how do we bring in stability in a mathematical sense. Okay, we have now replaced the elastic spring as elastic potential energy. We would also look at any change due to gravitational effects. You know very well that the force and the displacements are opposite in direction. You will say the work done as delta W equal to minus mg delta h. But I can also see when I have this as a datum where I say the potential energy due to gravitation is 0, I would recognize this displacement of delta h as delta Vg equal to mg delta h. So, there is definitely a sign change between the potential energy and the virtual work. They are opposite to each other in the sign. So, this is summarized here. For an upward displacement delta h, the work done is negative. For an upward displacement delta h, the potential energy stored Vg is positive. So, what is its influence when we look at in the principle of virtual work? We had studied that if virtual work done equal to 0, then the system is under equilibrium. I can now bring in the energy terms and rewrite the principle of virtual work. So, we have seen the work done by a spring is the negative of the change in the elastic potential energy of the spring. Similarly, work done by weight is the negative change in gravitational potential energy. So, when I have a system that has springs as well as vertical position of members moved, one can replace the work of the spring and the work of the weight by the negative of the respective potential changes. In words it looks very complicated, but if I put it as a mathematical equation, it is as simple as this: delta W equal to delta Vg plus delta Ve. This is nothing but recasting your principle of virtual work equation involving change in potential energy. And when you say delta W, you qualify that these are the virtual work done by all external active forces other than spring forces and gravitational forces, because they are separately included for spring and separately included for any vertical movement of the system. Now, the question is, how do I solve problems involving springs, because springs gets compressed and they store elastic potential energy. There are different ways of handling this, particularly in Merriam he treats that as a separate chapter. In other books, they talk in continuation of the virtual work without any major distinction. By including an elastic member as part of the system, the force of interaction between it and the movable member are internal and need not be shown. We have looked at in this chapter on virtual work, we do not have to draw a free body diagram, we need to have an active force diagram, because we recognize the supports do not contribute to work done, and internal forces, the net work done is 0. So, we worry only about active forces, and we have included the role of an elastic member like a spring by energy term. I can treat that as an internal force. And suppose I have this link has some weight. In many problems, we have solved it without considering the weight of the member, and in some problems we have considered the weight of the links. So, when we use the energy approach, you do not even show the gravitational forces, but you include that as a term involving Vg, because we have recast that virtual work equation as delta W equal to delta Vg plus delta Ve. So, we have to use an active force diagram minus the gravitational forces in such a case. What is the way I can solve the problem? Is there any other method? I can also replace the elastic member by an active force. See, this is the trick that people employ when I have to find out the support reactions. There again, replace the support by the respective forces which we have modeled earlier, and then treat that as an unknown active force. Your virtual work equation will finally give you what is the value of that reaction. So, when you learn by using this method too, you also know how to handle the spring as well as how to handle a reactive force. So, I would replace the presence of a spring by another force F1, which is given as F1 equal to Kx. So, you use an active force diagram that includes the new forces and then solve the problem. So, I have delta W equal to 0 as the basic equation, and you could have right hand side replaced by energy, that is what is listed here, or treat the spring as an active force in this direction and write basically this equation. Now, we have seen spring can be replaced by an equivalent form of potential energy. Suppose I consider every member forming the system is also deformable, I can also find out the work done by other forces equivalent to an energy change. If I do that, delta W equal to 0 simply becomes delta Vg plus delta Ve equal to 0, In this, we have accommodated the behavior of all other systems which we have earlier treated as active force and calculated the work done. You could also replace it as a change in elastic potential energy. In that case, the equation simply becomes delta V equal to 0. Another form of writing the virtual work equation in terms of potential energy, and this makes it elegant for us to discuss about stability. So, equilibrium configuration of a mechanical system is one for which the total potential energy of the system has a stationary value, and for a system of 1 degree of freedom, the potential energy and its derivatives are continuous functions of the single variable x. We have discussed what is the meaning of degree of freedom, and we said you have how many independent variables that are required to specify the configuration of the system. For such systems, the condition delta V equal to 0 is equivalent to simply dV by dx equal to 0. So, a mechanical system is in equilibrium when the derivative of its potential energy is 0. So, to arrive at this statement, we started with the virtual work, then we included the action of a spring, then the gravitational potential energy, then all the energy contribution because of all other active forces also replaced as equivalent to an elastic potential energy. Then we are able to write and state that a mechanical system is in equilibrium when the derivative of its potential energy is 0. This is for a single degree freedom of system. Suppose I have multi-degree freedom system. Instead of a total derivative like what we have seen, the partial derivative of V with respect to each coordinate in turn must be 0 for equilibrium. That is why the difference comes when you move from a single degree freedom system to multiple degree freedom system. And you know this you must have learnt it in your earlier courses. So, we have a nice example here. So, what is the meaning of stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium, and what is the neutral equilibrium? We also look at the associated mathematical condition. When the second derivative d squared v by dx squared is greater than 0, I have a stable equilibrium. And when I have this is a stable equilibrium. When I have d squared v by dx squared is less than 0, I have an unstable equilibrium. When I have dv by dx, normally people say dv by dx equal to 0. When you have d squared v by dx squared equal to 0 and d cube v by dx cube equal to 0, all this also leads to a neutral equilibrium condition. So, this is the way you will verify when I write the potential energy, find out its derivatives. Based on the second derivative, you are in a position to say whether it is stable or unstable. Suppose I have a situation, the second derivative is 0. We also have situations, occasionally the second derivative of V is also 0 at equilibrium positions. In such a case, examine the sign of a higher order derivative. And if you do that, if the lowest remaining non-zero derivative is even, the equilibrium will be stable if it is positive, unstable if it is negative. On the other hand, if the lowest remaining non-zero derivative is odd, the equilibrium is unstable. All this comes from study of mathematics. We use that as a basis for us to investigate the stability. So, we have a recipe. I have to get the potential energy form of the virtual work and then look at the derivatives and comment about stability. Let us solve one example problem, make a neat sketch of this problem. First, understand the physics of the problem. What I have here is, I have a member like this. To make our life simple, I have not considered the mass. The problem says consider that the mass of the bar is negligible. So, we only understand the role of a spring, and what you can do is, when you apply the force, you can visualize the spring will get stretched horizontally. When I leave the force, it will come back to its original position. And what is shown here as a circle, you have to appreciate this is not a sharp corner, but a very smooth corner, so that this bar can move up and down smoothly. There is a very smooth interaction here. And what we would do is, we would try to solve this problem in two different ways. Treat spring as part of the system, then I bring in the role of a spring in terms of its potential energy. Treat role of spring as an active force. Remove the spring, replace it by an active force and solve the problem. So, first aspect is, we have to visualize when I apply the force, what happens to the system. I think it is also stated in the problem, when x is 0, spring is unstretched. That is also given in the problem statement. Now, let me give a small virtual displacement to it. You have to recognize that this link also will move. See, in all problems dealing with virtual work, you have to bring back your knowledge of geometry, properties of triangles, properties of circles. Depending on the problem context, you may have to use them appropriately. You have to physically visualize, when I give a virtual displacement, how the system gets displaced. And for example, if I have original length of this member is S, from this point to the roller here, when I visualize a virtual displacement, I must also recognize this length changes by a small measure delta S. So, I have to bring that from the geometry of the system. Okay. So, the spring is stretched by a distance delta x, and the rod from this corner point to the roller has displaced by a distance delta s. So, let us first solve it spring as part of the system. So, I would replace the spring by its energy, and even before I do that, I get the relationship for the length s. It is not labeled here, but what I mean as s is the length from this corner to the roller. Comes straight from your geometry as root of x square plus h square, and then the work done by the force, because when I say work done, I am going to write only the active force. The active force is only this. Spring I am going to bring in the form of elastic potential energy. So, I write delta W as F into delta S, and you can visualize that force and displacement are in the same direction. So, this is positive. So, I get this as F delta of root of x square plus h square, and when I put the differentiation, I get this finally as f x delta x divided by root of h square plus x square. Now, I find that I have moved it by distance delta x. Whatever the movement has increased the elastic potential energy of the spring, that is given as kx into delta x. I would not solve the problem right here. This is the set of relations I get when I treat spring as part of the system, bring in the role of spring by replacing it action by a elastic potential energy. Then I will say delta W equal to delta VE and then solve for the value. What I will do now is, I will replace the spring by an active force. I do not have a spring, but I have replaced it by a force F1. So, I have on this system two active forces, force F and F1 are acting. So, when I write delta W equal to 0, I must write the contribution of work done by this force as well as the work done by this force. We borrow the same information from the earlier slide. So, this is known, delta W1 is F into delta S. When I write for this, the force and the displacements are in opposite direction. Here again I raise the question, can I write it as F1 equal to k into x plus delta x? Just to caution you, we are not worried about the virtual force required to cause a virtual displacement delta x. So, the force still remains as F1 equal to kx. Force and displacement are in opposite direction. So, I get this as delta W2 equal to minus kx into delta x. So, you find the ultimate equation is same. Here when I put delta W equal to 0, I am going to get Fx delta x divided by root of x squared plus x squared equal to kx delta x. I get the same answer whether I treat spring as part of the system or replace the spring by an active force. They are one and the same. So, I get this delta W equal to delta VE when I treat spring as a part of the system. So, I get this expression. I have already mentioned that even if I use the virtual work method, replacing the spring by an active force, final expression would be identical to this. There is no change. So, I can easily solve for relationship between x and f. So, x could be 0 or f by root of h squared plus x squared equal to k. When you solve for this, I get the expression for x as square root of f by k whole squared minus h squared, and you also have a condition provided k is less than f by h. See, in many of these instances, you may have to design what should be the spring I should use for this system. We would also solve a problem like this. We have looked at a linear spring. We would also take a torsional spring, which is available in your cycle carrier. When you lift the carrier, when you leave your hand, it automatically comes down. Any angular displacement you give, it comes back to its normal position. There is a restoring force that brings it back. So, when I say spring, it can be a linear spring or it can be a torsional spring, like you have a linear displacement and angular displacement. We would also see a problem a little while later. Now, we would take another very simple problem. We already know even before solving the problem what is the stability of this system. This is just to verify whatever the basic mathematical equations we have got are convincing for us to carry on. So, we have taken a very simple problem, make a neat sketch of it, and in the problem statement itself, it is shown at a generic position, which is oriented at an angle theta, and I have this mass pivoted at the joint O. That means, it is a pin joint, the mass can move freely over it. The question is, what are the positions of equilibrium for this mass? Not only that, of these equilibrium positions, you have to identify the position which is stable. Even before solving the problem, you can visualize which is the stable position for theta. theta equal to 0 could be one answer, theta equal to 180 can be another answer. And it is also easy for us to see when the mass is at the lower end, it is very stable. If the mass is vertically up, even if a small wind comes and hits it from left or right, it will displace its position. All problems dealing with stability, you have to visualize a perturbation, small perturbation. So, here it is completely dealing with gravitational effects. So, I need to recognize a datum. In all problems dealing with gravitational potential energy, I must have a reference datum from which I make the measurements. So, I have identified the datum here, and I can simply write this. It is so simple and easy that this is nothing but Vg equal to mg into b cos theta, because the mg is at a height of b cos theta from the datum. So, I have an expression for the v. Now, I have to take the derivatives. I get dv by d theta, that gives me minus mgb sin theta, and for equilibrium it has to go to 0. So, that gives me two solutions for theta, and sin theta is 0, sin theta is 0 when theta is 0 or 180 degrees. This is to check the equilibrium, and I need to get the higher derivative d squared v by d theta squared to check for stability. So, when I do this, I get this as minus mg b cos theta. Now, let us investigate what happens to this when theta is 0 or 180 degrees. So, you have cos 0 is 1. So, I find d squared v by d theta squared is negative, and this is unstable. So, if I sketch the configuration, this is the configuration when theta equal to 0, because theta is referred with respect to the vertical. And you can see I can balance it at this position. Even if there is a small disturbance, this will get dislodged. So, our mathematics is also agreeing to that intuitive appreciation of the system. So, our mathematics is right. And when I have theta is 180 degrees, I have cos 180 becomes minus 1, I get this as positive, and this is a stable configuration. So, when I plot the same configuration of the system at theta equal to 180, this is at the bottom, and you can very well see that it is quite stable. This is a naturally most stable configuration for the given system. Fine. So, this problem is fairly simple and straightforward. Then we move on to another interesting problem. You make a neat sketch of this. See, these days prosthetics design is becoming very prominent, mainly because of our own making, because we have a lot of avenues for people to get involved in accidents and they lose their limbs, and you need to have some kind of prosthetic support. And this is a very interesting problem. It is also dealing with practical stuff, and you have to understand what is the stability. See, it is a common experience when you stand on your legs. If somebody comes and put a small force at the knee joint from behind, you cannot remain stable, you would buckle. Now, the question here is, you have idealized the person's weight as mass m, and then you have also modeled his leg as having two links like this. I have a link of length b and then another link of length b, which is not true, because your leg is not like that. It is a very crude and simple approximation. So, you solve a problem and then have a joy that you have solved something pragmatic and practical. okay, and replace your knee functionality by a torsional spring. So, this will develop the restoring force depending on the angular position of the leg. And you are given in the problem statement, the spring develops a torque M equal to K into beta, K into beta, I am sorry, it is K into beta, and this beta is measured from this arm, and you measure what is the orientation of this. See, this is the problem is basically a symmetric problem, that is how we have modeled it, and that is why it says a simple model to simulate the artificial leg. It is a very simple and crude model, gives a very nice problem in this course to solve. The idea is, what should be the spring stiffness for a given mass, so that we would be in a position to ensure stability for the knee joint when beta equal to 0. When the leg is straight, what should be the minimum value of the spring stiffness? See, that is a design problem. If you put an inappropriate spring, the person with this prosthetic leg can never stand straight, he will always collapse. You need to have a minimum value, you can have a value larger than that. From a design perspective, you should know what should be the minimum value. Okay. And the next slide shows your leg, and usually we will have this shorter and this is slightly longer. Okay. So, this is a very idealized condition, that is what you have to look at. And so, you have a datum here, and I have the mass lumped here, the entire weight of the person is idealized as like this, and we have to bring in your property of the triangles and find out what is this angle. That is also again very simple, but I am only alerting you, please go back and refresh your understanding of geometry. We will not pay attention on that in discussing that in the course, but that background is needed for solving problems. So, I have these angles as from geometry it is beta by 2, I have these angles at beta by 2, from the property of the triangle you get this. Then I can easily write what is Vg. Vg is nothing but 2 mg b cos beta by 2. I have b cos beta by 2 here, another b cos beta by 2 here. So, twice of that contributes to the potential energy, and if I take this as the datum. So, in all your problems dealing with energy, where you have to calculate the gravitational potential energy, precisely indicate the datum position. If the datum position is different, all your calculations will be appropriately modified. And you have the spring, the stiffness is given as K. See, usually stiffness is given by the small k, in the problem statement is put as big K, but in the problem solving it is taken as small k. I think you can understand it based on the context. So, I get the elastic potential energy as half of k into beta squared. Here only gravitational potential energy and elastic potential energy is there. We have considered these as massless links. So, the total potential energy is simply Vg plus Ve. So, I get this as 2 mg b cos beta by 2 plus 1/2 of k beta square. So, now you differentiate this. Differentiating with respect to beta, I get dV by d beta equal to minus mg b sin beta by 2 plus k into beta. Ensure stability for beta equal to 0, this goes to 0, there is no problem. So, at beta equal to 0 it is an equilibrium. To look for stability, I have to get the second derivative d squared v by d beta squared. From this, if I differentiate, I get this as minus mgb by 2 cos beta by 2 plus k. So, this gives me a minimum condition. For it to be positive, it has to be 0, then only it becomes positive. Okay. So, I am in a position to get a condition to ensure what should be the torsional stiffness of the spring that I should put it if I have to develop a prosthetic to replace your knee joint. Very simplified problem. We have given color to that problem by bringing its similarity to a leg. One can improve the model several fold, and for beta equal to 0, it is stable if k is greater than mgb divided by 2. If it is equal to, you have d squared v by d x squared equal to d theta squared equal to 0. We would like to have this as positive for stability. So, I have to get the stiffness greater than mgb divided by 2. A very interesting problem. And then we move on to another problem. So, I have this k minimum is given as mgb divided by 2. We will also move on to another problem. This is slightly involved with you have a mass, you have two springs, and these springs help it to maintain stability of this. And what is stated in the problem is, the vertical pendulum is supported by two springs as shown, which are compressed equally at this position. They are not in the normal condition, they are compressed because of the weight. Let the spring stiffness of each of these springs be small k. Determine the maximum height h of the mass m, and you have determined the height from the pivotal position. From the pivotal position to the center of mass, it is h. Determine the maximum height h of the mass m, for which the inverted pendulum will be stable in the vertical position shown. To make our life simple, the problem itself states, for simplicity in analysis, neglect the mass of the remainder of the mechanism. We do not worry about all these limbs. You get a first approximation, get a physics of the problem. See, in all problems dealing with stability, we should start with some displaced position. You should understand if there is a displacement, from where the restoring force comes to make it, bring it back to the original position. You have to visualize that. In some problems, the problem statement itself gives you the displaced position, so it is easy for you to solve. In this case, you are asked to find out what happens at the vertical position. For me to write the mathematics, I must first visualize what is the kind of change when there is a disturbance, and that is shown in a nice animation here. So, if there is an angular motion, one of the springs will get compressed more, so it will have a restoring force. Okay, that is what is shown in the, I think we can go back and then see the situation ourselves. So, if it is displaced like this, and you will have a restoring force because of the springs. The springs help it to bring it back to the equilibrium position. So, let the initial compression in the spring be taken as capital delta, and here I have no other active force. We have a energy due to gravitation because of this mass, and later on we will not write it as m into g, we will simply replace it by the weight W, and I have two springs. Instead of one spring, I have two springs. So, I have to take care of both the springs when I write the elastic potential energy. I should not ignore one spring. I should handle both the springs properly. So, I have the total potential energy is given as VE plus VG. And I have given you a generic displacement position. I have the vertical axis. It is displaced by a small angle theta. For this configuration, if you write the contribution of gravitational potential energy, the contribution of elastic potential energy by the springs, the problem is done. But then the rest is simple mathematical expressions. You have to get dV by d theta and then d squared V by d theta squared. So, I have this. Let me write that basic equation, which is written down very nicely. So, I have to visualize that this is displaced, this spring is compressed more and this spring is slightly elongated. So, when I have this, I have this compressed. When I have from theta, I move by a angle delta theta. I have this as 1 by 2 k into delta plus b theta whole square, and for the other spring it is delta minus b theta whole square. In one spring it is a positive compression, and another spring is stretched. So, the original compression is released. Originally we have seen that the springs were compressed in this position. So, you need to have that, otherwise if the springs are not compressed, there will not be any restoring force. Fine. And the contribution of potential energy from the weight is very clear. From this datum, this is simply h cos theta. This is easy to write. Probably you would write for one spring, you must also write for the other spring carefully. That is where your sketch here, one spring is compressed, another spring is stretched, would help you to write for one spring it is 1/2 of k into delta plus b theta whole square. For another spring it is 1 by 2 k delta minus b theta whole square. Rest of it is simple. I find out what is dV by d theta. Now, differentiating with respect to theta, I get dV by d theta as 2 k b squared theta minus w h sin theta, and d squared V by d theta squared is given as 2 k b squared minus w h cos theta. So, in all this problem dealing with virtual work, you should be able to visualize the displaced configuration. That is a training. So, always put the displaced configuration, then you would be able to write the mathematics clearly. For theta tending to 0, d squared V by d theta squared is positive if 2 k b squared is greater than w h. So, that gives me h should be less than 2 k b squared by m g. So, you are in a position to establish what should be the height of the mass that can be kept in the vertical pendulum, so that it functions like a pendulum. H cannot exceed this value, it should be less than 2 k b squared by m g. So, in this chapter we have discussed about stability of equilibrium. So, this completes statics in all its totality in the absence of friction. We initially looked at by force method what are the reactive forces that are necessary to keep the body in equilibrium. In the method of virtual work, we investigated what are the different positions of equilibrium. In stability, we are forced to recognize deformable solids. Even the members which were originally considered as rigid were treated more like a spring. So, we were able to rewrite the virtual work expression in terms of potential energy. From that we could discuss about and find out the stability of the equilibrium of the system.